All right, we are less than 3 weeks away from the election, and there are massive pushes to get African American voters registered.
As Sean Gallagher learned, it's a challenge when black voters have felt historically forgotten.
In talking to voters of color, we've heard complaints about an indifference towards voting, essentially feeling like their vote won't matter. But some groups are trying to change that narrative, helping black voters feel empowered that their vote could change an election.
I don't really feel like my vote would count.
Raven Ewing lives in Milwaukee. She does plan on voting, but as a black woman, she feels like she's not being heard.
I think our culture don't vote enough. So it's just going to take just more of me as a black woman. We're going to need a lot of more other black people to vote. For everybody, vote to count as one.
Others feel like people in power have purposely taken steps to dilute their votes.
They kind of gerrymander their neighborhoods and making it harder.
Gerrymandering is the act of lawmakers redrawing lines, in theory, to keep things balanced politically. But that process can be taken advantage of to disenfranchise certain communities. Take this for an example. Let's say this box represents a voting ward in the city. If the purple boxes represent African Americans and the gray boxes white people, African Americans would outweigh white people 60-40. But creatively changing the lines to carve through different wards can change that. So now 2 of these 3 areas are white majorities, even though in total they take up the same amount of space.
When you gerrymander and you pack folks into a district, you're diminishing their power.
Democratic state lawmaker David Bowen says efforts like this can be demoralizing to black voters.
It's really important that black voters understand the power that they have, especially in one of the biggest swing states in the country.
Even former Republican state senators agreed.
Then I realized that we had invented a process that was thwarting the will of voters.
It's why there has been a big push this election cycle to get black voters registered to vote.
We have to know how to galvanize politically like everybody else does. It is effective. You're a citizen. That's what you must do. You must speak up for your tax dollars and for the way things are ran.
The deadline to register online was Wednesday, but you can still do so in person by October 30th. And in Wisconsin, you can also register on Election Day. Just be sure to bring a valid ID and proof of residence like a utility bill with you to the polls. In Milwaukee, Sean Gallagher, TMJ4 News.